Alright, so this is Diablo. You know who I am, but with me today is
Your lovely co-host, Mihal.
yes. So have you ever played Diablo before?
Nope. I I know the general gist, but I've never actually played it.
Okay, so basically Diablo is the nice little transition between roguelites from the 80s and stuff to the more common action RPGs of today. It's not the main feature being the large randomly generated dungeon. It's a single dungeon. You don't have any like multiple stuff. You don't have an overworld. Basically, everything in Tristram is all you get to see. This guy's dead.
Please, listen to me. The Archbishop Lazarus. He led us down here to find the lost prince. The bastard led us into a trap. Now everyone is dead, killed by a demon he called the Butcher. Avenge us! Find this butcher and slay him, so that our souls may finally rest.
We're not gonna beat around the bush. We're gonna straight down into the dungeon.
The sanctity of this place has been
So
fouled.
this is the cathedral. It's, the very first area. It's filled with mostly undead, some demons.
I'm surprised the first area is not a sewer filled with rats.
But RPG trends all the time. Let's see. But for the most part, you do your combat by clicking on things. You left click to attack. Yeah, you can cheat clicking. You can't hold it down. At least, not as far as I remember. I think you can. I'm not entirely sure. It's always more fun to me though. Just click until I have carpal tunnel syndrome. So.
Yeah, at least up to a degree.
And like I said, this entire dungeon is randomly generated. You'll probably never see the same floor twice in a row. You'll definitely see the same, environments in the same order every playthrough, but they'll never look the same. And this was a pretty big deal at the time, because most of the roguelites that had come out up until 1996 had been, in ASCII. So there wasn't there wasn't a good graphical way to represent these randomly generated dungeons. And so, having this big graphically at the time gorgeous dungeon was, it was a huge deal.
There's my character, the @ symbol.
Yeah, that is the problem with roguelikes. It's not being able to tell what the hell is what.
Aside from the clusterfuck that is their control schemes.
Yeah, Diablo has a lot, really simple control scheme. Basically, all your buttons can be triggered by pressing the key that starts them. Like for character, you can press C or quest Q and everything like that. Tab is auto map, and everything else is controlled using the mouse. So you don't have a whole lot of the problems that most of the roguelites of the past had, where you had to figure out which button was quaff and which button was eat. So.
The auto map could certainly use improvements.
Well, that was one thing that mainly got improved over time. And, this game's spiritual predecessor, not Diablo 2, but Torchlight, had a full-on mini-map up in the corner that you could have. And it was generally just a lot better. You can still use, the auto map in Torchlight, though. And what I got here is I got, 4 basic stats. We got Strength, Magic, Dexterity, and Vitality. Strength and Vitality are pretty straightforward. That's just how strong you can hit and how much life you have. Dexterity influences your magical power and your mana pool, and Dexterity increases your accuracy. So.
You said dexterity twice.
Oh, I did? Well,
Yes.
well, there, first mistakes. You get the idea, though. It's really simple with stats. Basically, whenever you level up, you get 5 stat points to distribute as you please. Generally, I'll put 2 points into Vitality because having lots of life is pretty nice. I'm getting kind of lucky with this run and getting tons of potions like right off the bat. Like if you look at my hotbar, I've got potion full mana, a couple mana potions, a bunch of healing potions, and a health scroll. You know, usually you don't get so lucky with finding potions. You'll find a few every now and then, but you won't get as many. And some barrels will explode, and if you get hit by them, it hurts a little bit.
The old Gauntlet Legends thing.
I'm looking at these rides like, could these rides be better than my tape? And they're totally not. Yeah, rides are basically there if you can't find anything else, you get rides. And we haven't found anything enchanted yet. You notice, like most of the text has been white, meaning it has no sort of rarity to it. Enchanted items are blue and unique items are yellow. If you find yellow items, you should get them identified immediately and prioritize them over enchanted stuff because they're usually pretty powerful. Diablo did a pretty good job of pacing out uniques as well. It's like you're obviously not going to find uniques very often. Some uniques are quest exclusive and you don't get all the quests in every playthrough. So you can you know, you can find some uniques in one playthrough and have them never appear in the next. So that was another sort of layer of, you know, random generation. It's like when I got that quest from that dead guy, or the now dead guy. I got the quest to kill the butcher. In another in the playthrough I did for the test, I actually did not get that quest. I've got a club in there, and I'm looking at it like, you know, I actually had to sit there and sift through two virtually identical cats because one of them had more durability than the other. What I just clicked on was a glimmering shrine. Basically, whenever you click on a glimmering shrine, it's got the word glimmering in it, it'll identify every item in your inventory. So those are pretty handy, but I was an idiot and clicked one and I didn't have anything to identify. So.
I'm guessing there are other types of shrines.
Yeah, actually, there are, you know, lots of ones. It doesn't really tell you what they do. You gotta sort of figure it out. Like yeah, you notice whenever I clicked on it, it said like mysteries or done something, you know, on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was basically just saying, hey, we identified your items. But some are sort of non-indicative.
And are any of them horrifying and or game breaking?
Some will actually decrease the amount of mana you have, like the amount of max mana you have permanently for the rest of the game. Some will play with your stats.
Ouch.
You know, it's generally a good idea to.
I gotta pawn some of this stuff.
Oh, he rides though. Let's take this. See, now we got a blue one. He's got more armor, so these rides are actually worth something. But
they're worth slightly more than nothing.
But yeah, basically, you know, shrines can do a whole lot of different things, and there's tons of them. I think there's at least 20 different varieties of shrine. And there's also, you know, some fountains and stuff you can find that do different things. The neat thing about Diablo that other games didn't do is, or at least not at the time, is you can basically do everything if you want to. You know, sorcerers can pick up swords and wear heavy armor, and you know, warriors can cast spells or use bows, and rogues can do all that, you know, all of that in between. So you know, it's just as long as you have the stats, you can do pretty much everything, which is the basis of stuff. You know, now sort of like Dark Souls, and I've got 8. No, number 5 stats. Sometimes the numbers can be a little bit hard to read because of the font, but
Certainly made it over to anime space Diablo.
yeah, don't I know that? But is it yeah, like, you know, Diablo was basically just trying to be a roguelite at the time, and it ended up inspiring all sorts of other games like Phantasy Star, and turns out people like looting. But our inventory's full right now, so I think we're probably gonna head back up to town. So let's just go on ahead, head on up. I'll take this opportunity to go over, you know, what all's in Tristram. Just from now on, basically, I left most of this video unedited, just so I could show off the layout of Tristram and everything like that. In future videos, this will definitely be edited out unless something important happens.
Good day.
So you got your, you got your. I'm gonna keep talking over these people because it shows up on screen. But
immediately discounted it.
you
brought it up. Maybe it is true.
You've got, you know, all sorts of people. You got your basic blacksmith. You got Cain the Elder, who identifies people, and you got other townspeople who give you quests or tell you about your current one.
Farnham has mumbled something about a hulking brute who wielded a fierce weapon. I believe he
And they are all voiced in possibly the worst manner possible. Except for Cain and for Pepin.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and
Just
listen.
Cain's pretty great. Yeah.
Is that Sean Connery?
You would think that, but it's totally not.
It seems that the Archbishop Lazarus goaded many of the townsmen into venturing into the labyrinth to find the king's missing son. He played upon their fears and whipped them into a frenzied mob. None of them were prepared for what lay within the cold earth. Lazarus abandoned them down there, left in the clutches of unspeakable horrors to die.
Yeah, you're already telling us about the Archbishop Lazarus, who may or may not show up later on. Now we got those rads identified. Turns out they're pretty good. They got a little bit of a low durability, but we'll be able to deal with that.
Whoa, what can I do for you?
I imagine you'll be getting something less shitty later on.
Oh, definitely. I'm actually going to be making a little bit of money here in a little bit because I've got that staff of charged bolt, which I can't use and really have no intention in using, so I'm going to take it to Adria, who we'll see in a little while. Basically, I'm just selling all my stuff right now. Like I said, in the future this will all be edited out unless something really important happens, but I just wanted to give you give everyone an idea of what Tristram was laid on.
What ails you, my friend? By the light, I know of this vile demon. There were many that bore the scars of his wrath upon their bodies when the few survivors of the charge led by Lazarus crawled from the cathedral. I don't know what he used to slice open his victims, but it could not have been of this world. It left wounds festering with disease, and even I found them almost impossible to treat. Beware if you plan to battle this fiend.
But, yeah, Pepin is voiced by Paul Eiding, and sometimes you'll find books in the dungeon that are read by Paul Eiding. And what I'm going to do now is I'm basically going to set up a stash by leaving a bunch of shit out here where no one else will get to it. And I sped that up because fuck watching me fiddling with my inventory forever. I don't really need the mana potions right now, but I definitely will later, so I'm just going to leave them there. Let's talk to Adria, who is also really hammy.
I have to admit, the music's snazzy.
Matt Ullman did a fantastic job with the music for this game, and he did a fantastic job with music for Diablo 2, and for Torchlight, and for Torchlight 2. Oh my god, he's really good. Now listen to this.
The Butcher is a sadistic creature that delights in the torture and pain of others. You have seen his handiwork in the drunkard Farnham. His destruction will do much to ensure the safety of this village.
Yeah, they're definitely chewing on the scenery there.
And there's no need for me to show myself going back to the dungeon, so we're just gonna snip back to that.
Scoot, 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 scoot.
Yeah, the player character moves kind of slow in Diablo 1. They made it where you have a run button in Diablo 2. And you have a stamina meter in Diablo 2 that when it runs out you can't run anymore. And they fixed that in Torchlight 2 because I played the beta, and they basically made it where you can run all the time, and you just move really, really fast. It's pretty great, actually, when you get to, and once you used to it.
It's kind of annoying when games waste your time.
I've got this Book of Charged Bolt, but I can't use it yet, but I'm definitely going to keep this Book of Healing and Book of Charged Bolt until I have the magic to use them. Because sometimes weapons just won't cut it. Sometimes you'll run across monsters with heavy physical resistance. I didn't notice it while I'm playing, but I noticed it while I was watching this again. There's a door back that way that I missed. I'll probably come back to it later on if there's something I gotta do. Maybe like an optional video or something. It's probably not anything important, so I need to get riled up.
Yeah. Your watchy turns out to be the best treasure in the game.
Oh my god, so many uniques, huh? But, yeah, basically right now I'm just trying to sweep and clear the first floor before I go down to the second one. Which I've already failed in that goal because God knows I just left that door behind. One tactic you can use whenever you're swarmed with enemies is you can find a door and just let them come through the door one at a time. So you're not getting surrounded by enemies like I'm doing here. And because I did hit once, my crappy ass rags. Strength is bolstered by heavenly faith. I do not remember for the life of me what that does. I will definitely look that up though, and I'll put it in the description. I think I'll just keep a running thing in the description of these videos, saying what shrines do as I come to them. Alright, so basically for the most part, we are done with floor 1, so let's head down to floor 2 and say goodbye for now.
Ta-ta!